Hello you guys, alexab.alchemy here for your weekly card pull. Today I'm going to be doing a reading for the entire month of May. This reading is specifically designed for all of my Scorpios, so if you have a Scorpio sun, moon, rising, and or north node, this one is for you. Now make sure at the end of this video, if you haven't already checked out your other signs, that you go ahead and do so, especially if you're looking for a little bit of additional guidance. So my Scorpios, to get right on into it, starting out for this upcoming month, the first question that I really want to ask for you guys is what kind of energies can you expect to be navigating, and what is some guidance that might be useful for you for the upcoming month. So the deck I'm going to start with is my Moonology deck for you, my dear Scorpios. I love this one. I love the dark color. I feel like it's a very Scorpio-esque kind of a deck. So yeah, we will just get right on into it, excuse me, starting here. So a couple of things for backstory, or just things to keep in mind. We are currently in Taurus season, and then by the end of the month we will be shifting into Gemini. So some themes of like grounding and earthing, also maybe some themes with communication. Mercury is retrograde right now, and it will be for the first half of this month. So communication might be a big thing for some of you guys. But let's see what the cards have to say. So again, the question is, what energies can you expect to navigate, and what are some, things that might be useful for you guys to keep in mind? Okay, let's see here. So, all right, so if the astrological part of this seems to be a little bit too much, just focus on the main message of what is coming through. So the first card that I pulled for you guys was in reverse. Any card that's pulled in reverse or upside down is usually asking for you to turn inward and to look at yourself. Also maybe highlighting that there might be some shadow. We are in the middle of eclipse season, so we just had a solar eclipse last month, and anytime eclipses happen, sometimes things in the shadows might come up or be illuminated a little bit more, so you may see some things that are a little bit challenging. So I got the third quarter moon in reverse for you guys, and the main message with this is that adjustments are required. Now, I feel like there are going to be, I think this is more advice on how to approach what's coming up for you in this upcoming month, but I do feel like there might be a little bit of a halting kind of energy that you're going to want to pay attention to. Taurus season in general is about slowing down, so all of us collectively are in a time where we're being asked to kind of slow down and surrender to the natural order and the organic flow of events, and also in that slowing down process, getting really conscious about what it is that we want to create and or co-create in our lives. So I do feel like you, my dear Scorpios, some of you may feel this like fiery, passionate, like let's go, let's move forward in energy. I mean, we just came out of Aries season, so that might be a little bit pertinent. So the first thing I want you guys to keep in mind in terms of like how to navigate this upcoming month is to be willing to be flexible and to make adjustments according to what is needed. I'm going to come back to this card because I do feel like this is providing extra information for something. So things to expect for this month, the cards that are sticking out to me right now are both full moon cards. So there's a standard full moon card and then also full moon in Virgo. So full moon in Virgo is the card of refinement. Its shadow side is perfection. So some of you may be looking at some perfectionistic patterns. Specifically, I feel like because communication is a big theme, maybe like feeling like you need to be perfect in what you say or how you say it, and because of that, maybe you're not saying anything at all. So there's definitely a level of like acknowledging that you are good enough, and I feel like this might be a theme that some of you might be looking at. Because I had pulled the first card in reverse, that also tells me that some of you are definitely going to be looking at that shadow side. Also, surrender to the divine. I feel like some of you are going to be coming up against things that you really maybe you want to control a little bit. The shadow side of Scorpio is a desire from an emotional standpoint to control things. So if you're noticing any controlling tendencies or any events unfolding that are making you want to be controlling of a situation, I would recommend that you take a step back. Again, adjustments are required. Take a step back and be willing to surrender to the process, and to also like have faith in the perfection of each moment and also the perfection of what you are bringing forward. I'm going to keep bulldozing through this, and I feel like it's going to keep providing more clarity. So also pulled in reverse, your commitment is being tested. This is the first quarter moon card. Also pulled in reverse, have faith in your dreams, or the waxing crescent moon. So there's definitely some themes of commitment here. Taurus season, again, is about planting seeds and being willing to commit to something. And some of you might be feeling a little bit challenged in this month about some of the things that you have committed to. I mean, beginning of the calendar year, some of you may have been setting like New Year's resolutions, if that resonates with you. Also, Aries season is the beginning of the astrological year, which was last month. So whatever goals and intentions you've been setting for the last few months, I would definitely say that maybe your commitment to those things might feel challenged right now. And if that's the case, that's totally okay. Like, it's okay to, again, adjustments are required. It's okay to adjust your life and adapt your schedule and your goals and whatnot accordingly. However, you also don't want to lose sight of the things that you said that you wanted to do. Now, really tapping into like the deep Scorpio energy, and again, for you Scorpio specifically, like what is needed in this situation. The new moon in Aries card, it's time to take action, is coming forward for me. So I feel like a lot of you are going to be put in positions that are a little bit make or break, for lack of a better word, this month. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. It might feel a little bit chaotic at times in the moment, but also you're being shown areas in your life where certain things are important to you. It's going to be important for you to surrender to the path that you're on. It's going to be important for you to also acknowledge what are the goals that you're setting for yourself or that you want to set now. Do you need to make adjustments to those things? Do you need to adjust your approach so that you can make those goals? Like really getting clear about where you are. And again, Taurus season coming up, well, not coming up. We're coming up on the end of it. We're about halfway through. And Taurus season is all about those long-term, stable, fixed goals. Taurus is a very stubborn sign. It's a very methodical sign. It's a very earthy sign. So really getting in touch with your roots. I feel like for some of you, maybe there's some ancestral stuff, some family trauma, some family patterns. Again, this Virgo, you are enough card. Some of you might really be needing to experience this emotion or this, the beauty of this in your personal relationships, especially as it pertains to your family. For some of you, I feel like that might be a little bit challenging. Maybe your family, Virgo is also the card of health. So for some of you, maybe health related things. I don't know. I'm feeling like for some of you, family and health keeps coming through. So maybe your family is really encouraging your health journey, and for some of you, maybe they're getting in the way of it, or even just the narratives that you've picked up from your family. It doesn't have to be a direct thing. And if that is the case, like let's say you have a subconscious belief about, how you should look, and that was something that you picked up from maternal side or paternal side or whatever. And that belief, I'm getting maternal for someone, that belief is really, really strong. And it's that subconscious belief that you have might be standing in the way of you taking actions that you need to actually take. Again, it's time to take action. So for some of you, those beliefs, those really deep beliefs that you have might be standing in the way of the commitments that you have made, commitments that you have made to yourself, to your body, to the things that you want. And if that is the case, that, my dear, that's where the adjustments are required. So I'm feeling like a little bit more strongly in my Scorpios. Scorpio is a sign of evolution, okay? It's death, it's rebirth, it's the process of life in general and life cycles. And that will require any kind of Scorpio energy is like that placement. Any placement in Scorpio encourages you to be willing to look at the depths of things and also your relationship to the depths of things from an emotional perspective. This is where power and control are really big themes. Anything that's taboo, sex and finances and taxes and things that like people don't really talk about. Maybe you have beliefs in those areas, or your body or your health. There's certain things that you feel like maybe a little uncomfortable talking about, or if it's not generally taboo for you, it may feel taboo. And those are likely the areas that you might want to dive into a little bit more, making certain adjustments so that you can actually create the life that you want and achieve the things that you want. Because again, Taurus is all about setting those long-term goals and figuring out what's necessary to achieve those. And for some of you, maybe the actions that you've been taking, it's not that it's not enough, because you are good enough. It is good enough. It's just that there also may be some subconscious blockages or some belief system blockages that are making it challenging for you to fully believe in yourself and to believe in that. So making some small adjustments, my dear Scorpios, might be helpful. I'm feeling called to pull a couple of cards from my Crystal Spirits deck. So we'll see what comes up for you guys in here. Maybe just for a little bit further clarity on like what What's it going to take? Ooh, that's a good question. What's it going to take? What's going to be necessary for you guys to make these adjustments? Is it going to take slowing down? Is it going to take a new mindset, different? I know narratives is probably something that's going to come up, but I want a little bit more clarification on that. Okay, so from this deck, a lot of self-knowing is going to be really important for you guys in this upcoming month, my dear Scorpios. So I pulled for you guys Obsidian. This card is all about knowing thyself, knowing who you are, what you stand for, knowing your story. Again, in reverse, so really big themes of yourself and your relationship to yourself. I pulled Hematite as well in reverse, so this one is all about grounding and getting in touch with the earth, getting in touch with how you feel from a more centered and practical place. So for some of you, for feeling like a little bit airy or kind of like lost in your head, again, especially towards the end of the month, I feel like for some of you towards the end of the month as we move into Gemini season, which is an air sign, you might be a little bit more airy, up in the mind, etc. And so for some of you, I do feel like it's going to be really, really useful for you to get back to the basics, to get back to elemental, to really become clear and grounded in who you are and what you believe. Hematite is a very Taurus oriented card because it is about this like getting back to earth. So I feel like some time in nature might be useful for you guys. So knowing yourself, nature might be a helpful way to figure that out. Euclase, also this card has really big themes for you of kind of getting back to yourself in the way of trust. So like trusting your own self, trusting your own wisdom. So realistically, like these three cards to me are all kind of pointing, and there's really beautiful similarity within the blue colors, but there's a really big theme for you guys with getting back to yourself, trusting yourself, and you know, those outside influences of life in the world around you, they're there for a reason, and it's okay to have them and it's okay to interact with them. But I feel like for some of you, taking some time to just get space for yourself and to really get clear with how you feel. I did also pull for you guys in reverse Amethyst. So funnily enough, this is all about familiarity, unconscious patterns, subconscious beliefs. So I really do feel like this is kind of reflecting that theme earlier from just like the importance of understanding and knowing yourself, and also understanding and knowing where your beliefs are and what you're telling yourself and what stories you're telling yourself and how those stories that you're telling yourself are affecting your experience of your reality. Finally, I pulled two different quartz cards. I pulled lithium quartz in upright and then Lemurian quartz in reverse. So lithium quartz, yeah, that's this one. This one's all about like harmonious connections and interconnecting with others in a healthy way. So I feel like this kind of also reflects on like taking time to know yourself and to trust yourself and to take a step back from others around you, but also not at the expense of disconnecting. So I do feel like some of you, you're going to need to find a good balance, if you don't already, between interacting with other people and then interacting with yourself and understanding yourself. And for some of you, just remember that like, ooh, card number 33. Nice. Love that. For some of you though, just know that like the way that you relate to other people and your experience with them is a reflection of yourself. The way that you react to other people is a reflection of yourself. It's not a reflection of them. So when you are spending time with other people, maybe just also understanding like, how is this person in front of me reflecting back something to me that I may not have known about myself, or that I have forgotten about myself, or maybe learn something new about yourself. So just being willing to pay attention to that. And finally, Lemurian quartz, this one in the upright, she looks like this. This card is all about big picture thinking. This is like the equivalent of Sagittarius energy. So a lot of like vision, a willingness to see possibilities. I feel like for some of you straight up, like I'm just gonna give you the answer right now. I feel like for some of you, the limiting belief is the belief that you can't do something, or the belief that something is impossible. And with this card, if you notice, there is a little key being inserted into the locket. Like that is the key that's unlocking a lot of potential. So I feel like for some of you, just being willing to like look at yourself from a more positive perspective. Again, not to say like you have to be perfect, because you don't, but understanding like you have the perfect combination of things that you need in order to create the life that you really deeply desire. Like the desire that you have for your life is there because you are capable of making it happen. And I feel like for some of you, maybe there are some subconscious beliefs or some subconscious patterning that are just telling you that you don't have that. So my dear Scorpios, I feel like for you, it is time to release those old beliefs, those patterns of thinking that might be keeping you small or keeping you closed in, and also to be willing to have faith in the things that you want, faith in the things that you are dreaming of, faith in the pathway that you can set up for yourself. I'm keep staring at this card, the waxing crescent moon in reverse, that says to have faith in your dreams. So I do feel like for some of you, it's going to be really, really important, my dear Scorpios, to just get clear with who you are, with what you want out of life, and to be willing to accept that, you know, there is a piece of you or of your past or of your process, your subconscious beliefs, maybe that may have to die, for lack of a better word, and that's going to bring new life. That's going to water the seeds for the new life that you're stepping into, which is really beautiful. And because, again, it's Taurus season moving into Gemini season, right now we're in the process of really watering those seeds and figuring out what is necessary, to make that happen. So yeah, I'm feeling called to close out. I don't really feel like I need to pull anything from tarot for you guys today. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you have questions on anything, please, please, please reach out and let me know. You can find me here, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere at alexab.alchemy. If you ever want a personalized reading, if you feel like you have some questions that are not answered in this, definitely reach out, shoot me a message if you want me to pull a card or two for you. I'm more than happy to do so. And finally, if this resonated with you, please interact with this video, comment below, give me a little thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Let me know that it's useful. That encourages me to continue producing this content and to continue making these videos. So yeah, I always appreciate your guys' interaction. And outside of that, I wish you guys a most beautiful month of May. Enjoy the flowers, enjoy the spring, summery season. And if there's anything that you need, you guys know where to find me. All right, I love you guys so much, my dear Scorpios. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next one. Cheers.